News! Okay, we'll start with this. What was an official PSA from the good people over there at Most Valuable Promotions. Today, we informed the IBF that Amendia Serrano has decided to vacate her IBF Featherweight Championship. Amendia has been honored to represent the IBF as its champion and proudly worn the IBF title. However, due to her commitment to move up in weight to fight Katie Taylor for the Junior Welterweight Championship, she is unable to satisfy her mandatory obligation for the Featherweight Championship at this time. Amendia respects the IBF's rules and regulations and does not want to prevent others from having an opportunity to fight for the IBF Featherweight title. She looks forward to becoming IBF champion again at 140 and once again, proudly representing the IBF. She also looks forward to eventually returning to the featherweight division to recapture her IBF title. Because Amendia Serrano was in the sport, before the advent of women's boxing and all the money that's being poured through it, because she was around before any of that, I noticed over time that she feels a kinship to other women boxers that you don't always see. And the boxing community at large is not immediately aware of. They don't realize that she looks out for her compatriots in her own way as best as she can, and that is what this is. She's not going to hold up featherweight. In spite of what accusations have been levied against her that she's stalling the division. No, she isn't, and this is proof. She's given up the IBF title. She's not going to prevent some other girl, some other fighter from realizing their dream of becoming a world champion, that even if it is at the expense of one of her alphabet titles that she won against the champion, Sarah Mahfoud, she's not going to hold things up. Credit to her. In spite of being critical of Amanda in previous years, what I've come to know over time is that she's a lot more generous than people realize in ways that people aren't aware of. Because not all of Amanda's acts of kindness are publicized for everyone to see. There is what happens behind the scenes, away from the prying eyes of the boxing community at large, that characterizes what she seems to feel is her duty to her compatriots. All that aside, the IBF title is now vacant. Amanda's a stand-up broad. The good people at 120 Seconds podcast ask, who will potentially fight Nina Menke, who's ranked at number 1 by way of the IBF, for the vacant title? The first 3 contenders are, in order, Daniela Bermudez, former IBF champion of Argentina, Raven Chapman of the United Kingdom, and one of my favorite unbeaten up-and-comers in the featherweight division, and of course, unbeaten up-and-comer of Canada, Caroline Vieira.
Canada! Stop yelling! What the hell is wrong with you?
Any one of those 3 fighters could end up fighting number 1 ranked Nina Menke of Germany for the newly vacated title. Though, like all things in life, it all boils down to the money, and who has the most money, the most financial backing behind them to see the fight realized. And of the 3, that's Raven Chapman. More than Daniela Bermudez, more than Caroline Vieira. The reason for it is Raven is with a major promotional outfit that has a broadcast deal. The other 2 are not. Raven's going to be returning to action very soon against Sarabia. I anticipate Raven is going to beat Sarabia. Up until now, Raven's name has been attached to a potential Sky Nicholson showdown later on this year, but this recent revelation, it changes things. Raven's name was not the only name attached to a potential Sky Nicholson fight. There is also America's own Tiaria Brown, who's been gunning for Sky Nicholson for weeks, for months, a little over a year now. So what I propose that Sky do this is Sky should fight Tiara Brown later on this year instead of Raven Chapman. Sky should settle up with Tiara, win the fight, and I think she can, while Raven Chapman takes on Nina Menke for the newly vacated IBF title. And I think Raven would beat Nina soundly. Hell, I think she might stop her. Raven makes me proud to be a bricklayer.
What?
She makes me proud to be from Norwich and Norfolk, the United Kingdom.
You're not from the UK.
And if you've been following this channel long enough, you'll know that I've been saying it for years. Raven Chapman is a champion in the making. The most ideal scenario for Raven is that she fights Nina for the IBF, then fights the winner of Nicholson versus Brown for that belt.
Unification!
They're turning up the heat at 126 pounds. Things are fast heating up with the proliferation of talented, unbeaten up-and-comers from all around the world. Nicholson from Australia, Brown from America, Chapman from the UK. And that's not even all of them. So, I'm hoping that Raven Chapman is the one who gets her crack at the apple against Nina Menke. It could very well be Daniela Bermudez, the former champion. She's ranked right behind Nina, so it could be those two that fight. But if the people at Queensberry Promotions act fast and move on this, maybe they can finagle a situation to where Raven gets to skip ahead of Daniela and fights Nina straight away. Isn't that unethical? I love Raven.
And I love her still.
I don't care if they skip Daniela. I don't care if it's not fair. I don't care if it's not right. I want Raven to get her crack at the apple, and it's as simple as that.
Got it, got it.
What's up?
What's up?
What you
in here both at the same time.
Hey, cool. Hey, Ryan, why you keep talking down about black people, bro? For real.
Nah, bro, that's old news, bro. Everybody knows that wasn't even my thing.
Do you hear this guy? He says that wasn't even his thing. Well, then whose thing was it?
You already know I ain't gonna try to bring that up.
We know you're not going to try to bring it up. Keyshawn brought it up. What have you got to say?
Don't try to start that narrative. I ain't on none of that. That shit, we were just all joking. It was stupid.
Oh, so you think that bigotry against people on the premise of race and religion is any laughing matter? That it was a joke? These guys are going to let you off the hook.
I'm never
fuck
gonna do
that,
it again.
nigga. Is you gonna fight me, nigga?
Bro, I will drop you, bro. I'll make you shit
Will
your
you
pants.
fight this
This
nigga
nigga
drunk?
crazy. We talking to two drunk motherfuckers right now, cuz. We can't take them serious.
Who that fat nigga right there? Get off his dick, nigga.
He got that BBC.
Oh, you gay.
They're all just laughing and joking and joshing. You never would have thought Ryan said the kind of things he said just looking at this interaction.
Hey, fight me at 140, nigga.
No, 144. I'll do it.
44? Fuck it, come
Yeah,
on,
bro,
with
come
me.
on,
I'll fight you at 144.
Hey, fuck it, I'm with it, nigga.
Bro, I'm banning boxing.
Oh, they banned. Oh, I forgot they banned you. Why you was cheating, bro?
Bro, sorry, sugar. Now you know that why I did not cheat to beat Devin Haney, bro.
Sure.
I spy with my little eye what doesn't look like a glass of apple juice, looks like a glass of alcohol. What happened to him checking himself into rehab?
What is that? Tequila?
I'm gonna take a shot with you. Bro. Yeah.
Honestly, bro, I think you're cool.
Nah, I think you cool too, bro.
You're cool too, bro. You guys need a hotel room or something? Huh? Jump into your PJs, braid each other's hair, tell spooky stories, get into a circle jerk with each other?
Yeah, I still gotta whoop your ass though, my boy.
No, it's fine. You could try though. You could definitely
I'm gonna fuck you up.
You could try. You could try.
Oh, stop that shit, bro.
You could try.
Hey, I'm gonna touch your
stupid.
body, nigga.
Hey,
I'm gonna touch your body, nigga. And you don't like body
I'm gonna
shots.
end up shadowboxing. I'm gonna be like, yo, where's
He's gonna end up shadow box. He know he's gonna be fighting the ghost, nigga.
Nah, bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'll bite your balls off. I'm not kidding.
What?
I'll bite your
Nah,
balls
bro,
off.
get this nigga out
No,
of
I'm
here.
being real, bro.
He
I'll bite
wildin'.
your balls off. Bro, can everybody stop saying I'm doing cocaine? I don't do cocaine. It's alcohol, marijuana, and shrooms. Honestly, I
You
think
said shrooms?
bro, it literally like makes you think at a higher level.
They resemble children, all three of them, Keyshawn Davis, Shakur Stevenson, and Ryan Garcia. Even though these guys are actually closer to 30 than they are 20, what they resemble are children, going back and forth and laughing it off at what Ryan Garcia said, what he's accused of doing, using performance-enhancing drugs to enhance his performance against Devin. They just found the aspirin in his system by accident. How did that get there? Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis don't seem none too concerned about it, or what he said in reference to their group, their race. We can add shrooms, psychedelic mushrooms, to the list of substances that Ryan Garcia puts into his body in spite of being a professional athlete. He doesn't treat his temple. He doesn't take care of it, not if he's on drugs and alcohol. I mean, this explains the erratic ramblings we often hear from Ryan Garcia via X, formerly known as Twitter, the way he just carries on about conspiracy theories and the global elite, the Illuminati, the lizard people, aliens, Alexandra Ocasio, and how delicious she looks in a blouse.
Love to punch her in the brown.
Currently under suspension and facing a misdemeanor charge for trashing the Waldorf Astoria in Beverly Hills. No, Ryan Garcia is no ambassador for the sport. He's not a good example to young fighters and how they should behave themselves, conduct their careers, and yet these two are giving him a pass. Why? It's the shortcuts, folks. It's the shortcuts, because that's what Ryan Garcia is all about. He's all about the shortcuts. It's not through boxing and boxing matches per se that he achieved notoriety. No, he found a shortcut on social media. Most people that know him because of his social media more than his boxing. The win, quote unquote win, Over Devin, that was just the cherry on top, but he was already a well-known fighter before that, and social media as a shortcut to the millions has everything to do with that. So when a three-division champion like Shakur Stevenson is seemingly begging Ryan for an opportunity, having done more than Ryan, accomplished more than Ryan, and being a reigning champion, well, that's why. Because Ryan makes more money than Shakur, in spite of Shakur being more accomplished. Seemingly kissing the rings, as they say. Selling his soul. People do it all the time. For a shortcut to the millions. For a shortcut. How many people don't sell their souls out there on social media? Shakur's selling his soul to whatever gods or deities Ryan prays to, enabling his behavior and compromising his own values in the process if Shakur and Keyshawn even have any values. That they're both seemingly so happy to rub elbows with this guy. And finally, what is a very big story, Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn are set to unite on DAZN, as Warren is set to join rival boxing promoter by signing a deal with the streaming service DAZN, representing the first time Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua have been aligned to the same broadcaster. DAZN is closing in on a groundbreaking broadcast deal that will bring British boxing's two biggest promoters, Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn, under the same banner for the very first time. Multiple sources have confirmed that the streaming service is confident of finalizing a long-term UK and global rights deal with Warren's Queensberry Promotions in the coming weeks. This is a big deal for DAZN and a big deal for boxing in the UK. The deal would mark a seismic shift in the sports landscape, with Eddie Hearns' Matchroom Boxing, formerly Warren's bitter rival, holding an exclusive rights deal with DAZN since 2021. And thus, the biggest game in town, across the pond in the United Kingdom, the two major promotional outfits will both have their fighters fighting on the same platform, making Ben Shalom and Boxer's job on Sky very difficult. How are they going to be able to compete? With what? Anthony Joshua, the star of Hearns' stable, is already committed to a career-long deal with DAZN and holds equity in the streaming service. Tyson Fury is promoted by Warren, and it would represent the first time the two heavyweight stars of British boxing have been aligned to the same broadcaster, with their long-awaited bout finally mooted to take place the following year. Queensberry's present contract with TNT Sports expires this year. The Sunday Times first reported in March that DAZN was planning to make a play for its UK and global rights. This means more exposure for Frank's fighters, but what it also means is you're not going to be seeing Frank's shows on ESPN Plus anymore. Like the show we saw earlier today where Nathan Heaney was headlining and Chantel Cameron was making her Queensberry Promotions debut. What this heralds is more cross-promotional fights, like say a potential Sky Nicholson versus Raven Chapman fight. We all know Sky's with Matchroom and Raven is with Queensberry. This fight is easier to make now as a result of that. It's good news. The deal would ensure the DAZN app essentially becomes the home of UK boxing, a big coup for the platform as it seeks to strengthen its foothold. However, it has been previously chosen to strike sub-licensing TV deals with both TNT and Sky to maximize the profile and revenue of pay-per-view bouts involving Joshua and Fury in Saudi Arabia over the past year. Now, the reason for that is, when the Saudis are the ones footing the bill and paying for a show, paying the fighters, they so reserve the right to distribute the show across as many platforms as possible to maximize exposure and thereby maximize earnings, making the shows available on that many more platforms. That's what that is. And that's why they do it. Tyson Fury is scheduled to fight Alexander Usyk in a rematch in the Saudi Arabian capital in December after suffering his first defeat of his professional career against the Ukrainian in May of this year. Joshua, meanwhile, will face his fellow Briton Daniel Dubois at Wembley Stadium in September for the IBF heavyweight title that Usyk recently vacated on the first Saudi-backed card to be held in the UK. The Saudis are debuting in America in August, then debuting in the UK the following month. Sky was previously the main force in British boxing and synonymous with Joshua's career throughout his rise, but sources have frequently questioned the broadcaster's long-term commitment to the sport since Hearns' departure to DAZN in 2021. Its present contract with Ben Shalom's Boxer is due to expire next year. Perhaps Ben, if Sky decides not to renew, can seek refuge on DAZN, thereby allowing DAZN to monopolize the British boxing scene and all of its major promotional outfits. A masterstroke.
I'd say it is.
When Eddie Hearn so decided to part ways with Sky Sports as his UK broadcast partner, some questioned his rationale and whether or not he made the right decision 2 to 3 years ago. Time would seem to have proven him right.
Sky might end up leaving boxing because the strength of the cards that they put on these days, it doesn't compare to what they used to do. And it's going to be that much harder to keep up with both Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren because they're both on DAZN. How are you supposed to compete with that? With what?
The withdrawal of major networks from boxing, including Showtime and HBO in the US, has made an attractive market for DAZN, which is seeking to become the dominant global broadcaster of the sport. It also holds a rights deal with Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions, and Hearns' operation has expanded significantly into overseas markets since 2021. DAZN launched in 2015 by billionaire Sir Len Blavatnik and has claimed it is on track to become the global home of the sport. But establishing itself as an important player in the British market had proved difficult. With limited success outside of boxing, an audacious bid failed last year to broadcast all 1,656 English Football League matches. The company reported annual losses of $1.26 billion in 2022, although that represented a marked improvement on its $2.18 billion loss in 2021. Its revenue also increased by $639 million, or 41%, to $2.2 billion. A monthly DAZN subscription can be canceled at any time, costing £19. Joshua and Fury's recent bouts in Saudi Arabia were aired on its pay-per-view service for an additional fee. Both Queensberry and DAZN declined to comment.
Now factor in that DAZN aren't actually the ones coming out of pocket for what is the Crawford versus Madrimov fight in August or the Joshua versus Dubois fight the following month. That effort is being supplemented by His Excellency Mr. Turki Al-Sheikh, costing DAZN no money at all because he's paying to make those fights happen.
It's not coming from them, so whatever that ends up bringing in will help to increase DAZN's profit margins.
I told you guys years ago that DAZN was on track to outpace Showtime Boxing, and they may end up outpacing ESPN as well.
ESPN's deal with Top Rank expires next year. There's a chance they don't renew, and if they don't, maybe Top Rank goes to DAZN. If you can't beat them, join them.
It's that much better for the consumer because you're getting that much more boxing from that many more promoters all on one platform instead of spread across 3.
The short version? This is good news. This is very good news.